Greetings and welcome to Mind the Moment in Everyday Life. Each month, we take a theme and we explore how mindfulness can support us in bringing that theme to life in our everyday lives. Now, our theme for this month of April is The Mindful Gardener, in which we'll be exploring mindfulness practices that support how we garden and gardening practices that inform what it means to be mindful. I'm your host, John Roberts from Living Well Community, your home for interactive virtual wellness classes and on-demand programming created and curated by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. Now, I am thrilled to be joined all this month by your mindfulness guide, Shanti Douglas. Welcome, Shanti. How are you today?
Welcome, everyone. Super happy that you're here today.
Now, Shanti, in our last session, you offered some ideas for either flowers or vegetables we could grow, easy enough not to break the mind of the amateur gardener like myself. These things included zinnias, petunias, marigolds, also radishes, spinach, lettuce, peas. Now, I had my heart set on peas, but I enlisted the help of my 4.5-year-old son in this project, and he really wanted zinnias, so we went with them both. Now, it's not much going on yet, but these are my zinnias. Those are my zinnias. And these are the peas. All right, so they're down there somewhere, I hope. Now, folks, we want you to be a part of this conversation here as well today. Please open up the chat. Let us know, are you planting along with us? What have you planted? Also, please feel free to drop into the chat any questions or any comments that you may have, either now or at any point during the program today. Now, Shanti, you recommended that we use a spray bottle to keep the soil wet. My son even suggested that I practice using his toy flower set, so I've been trying to do that a
I
little bit.
love that. That's so great.
I've been trying to do my best not to get too wild with the watering, just keeping it sort of low key. But here's the truth. I left the planters outside during a rainstorm this past weekend on accident. They got pretty soaked. So I'm curious, in the most literal sense, is it possible to overwater these seeds? Have I already ruined them? But by extension, when it comes to those seeds that we've planted in our mindful gardens, patience, generosity, curiosity, those types of seeds, is it possible to overwater those seeds? And what would it even mean to do so?
Yeah, so we can definitely, just like we can underdo things, we can overdo things, right? I mean, if you think about someone who is kind and they're just constantly kind, like to the point where now they're depleting themselves and they're not taking care of themselves, right? So we have, and we'll practice with this actually today, like that Goldilocks moment, I say, or like the golden mean, like what's right here in the middle. And even in our practice, we look at the middle way, not too much, not too little, but really that middle, that more balanced ebb and flow. And with, logistically with watering, you do want to be cautious of over watering. It's really is going to drown the seed. I will say though, if those seeds that you planted outside that got pretty decimated with that rainstorm, maybe they won't grow with what they were meant to grow initially, but do know that you've simply fed the soil more compost, right? So they will be used in some capacity. And others, they may have an opportunity to dry out and refresh themselves and begin again. That's the beautiful thing, right? We can always begin again.
Well, speaking of beginning again, Shanti, it's I think we're finally beginning to get some sunshine. I'm looking out my window here. We got a little bit of sunshine, although it's been there was snow on the ground here in Western Mass this morning. Now, there's been very little sunshine since I planted these seeds, and my son informs me that plants need sunshine to grow. I'm afraid he might be onto something here. I'm wondering, in this time of year when there's sometimes not sunshine for several days in a row, is there an alternative to providing the plants with some sort of sun-like thing? And is there a parallel to be drawn with the seeds that we're planting in our mental or mindful gardens? What happens when there appears or when it feels like there's no sunshine around.
So right now, I'm not going to suggest that we plant anything outside. It's just way too cold. And we are definitely probably going to get, I was with you with that snow this morning. It's like, what? That's so shocking. Keep the things indoors if you are planting outdoor things. Keep them in a nice warm area as well. If you have a sun lamp, that can be another element that you can bring in. I just really put mine by the window, so even though it might be cloudy out, they're still getting the sun. Same with us, right? We're still getting some vitamin D, some light when it's daylight, even though it might be overcast. And I'm going to give a shout out to my zinnias, 1 week old. So I planted them last a week exactly. So, this is what you're going to be looking at in a week or so. So, isn't that inspiring? I love it.
Gives me something to look forward to here, Shanti. And
Definitely.
I appreciate you mentioning that there is sunlight even when there appears to be no sunlight. People we're told always put on sunscreen even on cloudy days for that reason. And I think it's a good reminder just as we go through our lives that maybe there is still sunlight behind the clouds, even when you can't necessarily see it. Uh, but Shanti, maybe that's a good segue to into the guided practice. Although if there's anything you'd like to say prior to that to get us prepped, that'd be great as well.
Yeah, we will actually be working with the elements today. It's the second week of our mindful gardening series, and we're going to be talking about sprouting, right? And things are small right now. We want to take care. We want to look at what are the conditions, what are the elements that support the growth, the intention, whether that's the physical growth of the seeds, or maybe it was the intention that we created last week for what we want to bring into ourselves and our world and our life this month. So yeah, so let's get comfortable in our posture right now. And you can be eyes open, eyes closed, readjust. Give yourself this opportunity, this beautiful growth opportunity to be right here. No matter what your day was like before, no matter what you have going on coming forward, this is the moment that we're attending to right now. And to get us settled, I just want to read a little poem, an unknown author, just as a reminder. This person said, "Let the trees teach you that growth requires patience. Let the wind teach you that you can change direction and speed as you desire. Let the flowers teach you that beautiful things do bloom all year long. Let the ocean teach you that you can be both calm and chaos, gentle and strong. Let the stars teach you that darkness is needed to see the light. And let the sun teach you that no matter how long you've been hidden, you will always rise again." So, just like those elements inside of ourselves, our intention, even if it feels hidden, even if our seed feels really small, it feels invisible, the elements of the sun and the ocean and the stars and the wind are right here to help us. Yes. So let's begin with the breath and just noticing how our breath is flowing in and out of our body. And this is not a prescribed breath, it's just however our body is choosing and needing to breathe right now. With gentle awareness, just stepping back to observe, to bring in, to invite in that element of curiosity. And we have curiosity for the intelligence of our body, that our body knows how to breathe. that it knows how to breathe the way that we need that breath to come in and feed our cells, to feed our wholeness. So I'll be offering spaciousness throughout our meditation today. So I invite you with this spaciousness right now, simply to bring in that curiosity and the awareness of breath. What is the condition with the element of breath? And now taking notice to the heart beating. This is the life force. Noticing the pulsing of the blood, the energy that's flowing through our body, the energy that's feeding our organs and our cells, our ligaments. And becoming aware of the cadence of the heart beating. And while it can feel like the heart beats the same beat over and over, it's actually quite different, beat to beat to beat. Just like your breath, your heart is responding to what's needed right here and right now. It's responding to the moment to moment conditions. And now turning towards the element of the soil of ourself, our personal nature, our earth. It's rich with so many elements that we've experienced through our lifetime. Everything in this moment is coming together in this beautiful compost of elements, the elements of all the kindness that we've ever been offered or been given, the exciting experiences that have brought joy, laughter, and connection, the elements of times when we've stepped into bravery because we knew that it was more important to do that than to stay small with fear. All the good food that we've enjoyed, all the great sleep that helped us to rest and renew. all the hope and faith that we've brought in to situations of unknown. All of these elements are here, creating a beautiful composition that we can use to take care. It's our soil, it's the ground. Smiling to this, smiling to all of it, even the difficult places, the overwhelmed places. And now connecting to all of the elements of warmth and light. These are invaluable to our growth. Warmth and light help us to feel joyful and energized, to feel awakened and connected. So, how do you invite in sunshine and light into your life? How do you sustain a feeling of this brightness, of this goodness? Just turning inward and noticing the elements, the conditions that are important for you to help you sustain this sunshine of the heart of your being. What do you need? What do you need to let go of? And now coming to take in awareness of the perfect temperature that you most enjoy. And this isn't just a physical temperature, which could be what that beautiful, sunny, warm day feels like, or the crispness of fall. This goes much beyond that. What's the perfect preferred temperature of how you think, how you maintain a sense of balance, ease, introspection, initiation, curiosity in the mind? How do you navigate the changing conditions that are always right there, that keep your heart centered and focused, open with care and kindness, maintaining the proper elements and the balance of goodness and engagement? How do you help yourself show up in the best possible way? So, taking a few moments to reflect on your preferred, your known temperament temperature. What's important to sustain that for yourself? And how does that make a difference in your world? What do you need more of? What do you need less of? And with all of this, we want to look at the container of our space, the place, the space that we thrive the most. Do you feel like you're at your best when you're with others, when you're engaged? Or is it more important for you to step back and have that quiet time, that inward time, that creative, expressive time? Or perhaps your balanced space is a combination of both. So, how are you sustaining this beautiful balance? What are some of the elements and conditions that are needed, most importantly, for you to grow, for you to maintain awareness and connection with your intention, with how you want to be? And then to close our practice today, just come back to your heart, come back to your breath, come back to your whole body. I invite in a big smile to you I have deep appreciation for you to be here. Just taking 3 breaths. And on that last exhalation, opening your eyes if they've been closed.
I just wanted to say for my own part that I really appreciated the passage you read at the beginning of the meditation, essentially about the things that we can learn from nature. Because I'll just admit to you, these past few days, I've been feeling a little bit bad, a little bit bad. I've a little bit of a cold, and a lot of people seem like they're very concerned, even scared, and that makes me feel that way as well, just about things going on out there. But then I walk outside and I hear the birds
Mhm.
returning. I see these patches of grass that used to be dead in my yard that are just spontaneously sprouting at last. And it just reminds me that there is a larger context out there that is persisting, that you can kind of you can cut back growth, but it will return. You can't stop it. And I feel like that is an important lesson for me to keep in mind, especially as we're working on projects like this one. Now, Shanti, being mindful of our time here, could you maybe give us some thoughts about what we should be looking for this week as we're continuing to work with our various plans?
Yeah, I mean, so we have the seeds inside of ourselves and having awareness of what are the conditions that I need to have that perfect or that near, it's never going to be perfect, right? So, perfection with anything just needs to be out. But having that general awareness of how am I doing, right? How is my body doing? How's my emotions? What's my mind? How is my energy? Am I sleeping? Am I hydrating? Am I moving? All of these things are real facets. Where are the pieces of sunshine in my life, right? Like, where's that laughter? Where's that friendship? Let's go dancing. Let's put on a song. Let's do something sort of like that. And then, noticing that we also need that quiet care too. It can be really extreme. Elements right now can be a lot on us, and we can feel pretty drowned out and overwhelmed from them. So, know yourself, get to know yourself. Um, the beautiful practice with mindfulness is there's no judgment, and we can always begin again. And as you said, even if challenges, conditions are difficult, there's always growth. And I find that when we can bring in that patience and let things be and not react and not do and just let nature come back, they're sprouting, right? The grass, the leaves, the bathisia, which was a really interesting word to try to say. The little tiny things. So they're both outside of ourselves and inside of ourselves.
Yeah, Shanta, I'm loving this idea that as we are, tending to our plants, maybe that's a moment for us to remember to check in with ourselves and just ask, okay, here's what the plant needs at this moment. What do I need? So we are tending and growing with these other things in our environment.
Exactly. Moment to moment, we're changing, everything's changing.
Well, Shanti, I could not be more grateful for all of your teaching and guidance today, and I can't wait to explore this more with you next week. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Super happy to be here with everyone. Have a great week. Keep growing, keep sprouting.
A final word before we go from the author and plant advocate Michael Pollan, who wrote, quote, maybe to be in a garden and feel awe or wonder in the presence of an astonishing mystery is nothing more than a recovery of a misplaced perspective, perhaps the child's eye view. Maybe we regain it by means of a neurochemical change that disables the filters of convention, of ego that prevent us in ordinary hours from seeing what is, like those lovely leaves staring us in the face, end quote. So thank you for taking the time today to recover that child's eye view with us, that seeing at the level of a leaf. We hope to see you again next week. At the same time, we'll be back with Shanti. Until then, please do go forth and be excellent to each other.